everything been coming along?
Oh, it's been interesting. I just made the decision to apply to law school. Well, I was back and forth, but I really solidified my decision maybe in May. And so I am now just kind of getting in the rhythm of studying, but realizing that I'll probably be applying next year, not this year. And I'm kind of at a loss as to how to approach studying and how where to even begin. I feel there's so many online resources, and it's kind of it's really overwhelming with starting out. So I just wanted to get your input on where to kind of start, or how to begin, and what strategies I can start to take.
Sure, definitely. And of course, there is a lot out there. There's a lot of resources and there's a lot of exams.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely understand the overwhelm. One thing I've tried to do with the course is break it down step by step, day by day. So if you look at the foundational section of the course, you'll see study plans for all different time periods, 1 month up to 6 months and beyond. Have you taken a look at that section?
I haven't yet. I haven't really started navigating the course yet. I was a little confused on how to do that. Do I have to create a login, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you actually should have gotten a login email when you joined the course. Did you get anything like that?
Let me pull it up right now. Okay, yes. I see here are the top 5 resources you should be looking at on day 1. Okay. So, and is this kind of more of a full-time course, or is it a take your own pace? Because I'll probably be working full-time in starting September, and from there we'll be studying part-time.
Yeah, so it's definitely not meant to be LSAT is the only thing you're doing in your life, right? It's meant to be manageable. I'm assuming that you've got other obligations of some kind, like work or school or whatever, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And so it is go at your own pace. The videos are on demand. You can watch them anytime. You can rewatch if you like. There's also live classes in the workshops section of the course. You'll see the details about that. And there's the recordings of all the previous live classes there as well. The foundational section is the best starting point, though, if you're especially given that you're starting from scratch. Mm-hmm. And then you can get into the more advanced materials as you devote more time to this and get into it deeper.
Okay. And then the live classes, is that kind of all of the students or everyone studying for the LSAT meets together, or how does that play out?
Yeah, so they're open to everyone with supreme and premium level access. There's classes on different topics, including, of course, logic games, logical reasoning, reading comprehension. There's classes and study groups. We also have weekly sessions on the admissions side of things as well, personal statement, application essays, letters of rec, all of that stuff too. And so everyone gets together. And of course, if you can't make it, that's fine. You can always watch the recordings later too.
When are the live classes? When does everyone get together?
So the live classes are almost every day. They're typically at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
We also have study groups. So sometimes they're at 7 p.m. too. So where are you located, by the way?
In California. So.
Okay, cool. So it'd be starting at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., or 6 p.m. your time. But if you can't make it, that's fine. You can catch the recordings later.
Okay. And besides the LSAT Prep Plus, is there any other textbooks that you would recommend, or is everything kind of already included in the course?
Yeah, there's nothing else you need. All you need are the exams, and Prep Plus is the best place to get them because you're getting them in the exact same format you'll have on test day.
Mm-hmm. And I did have a question as to taking the LSAT in. I'm just really confused on what days the LSAT is offered, or I'm sorry, what months they're offered, because I registered for the October one. I thought I was going to be applying this year, but I probably won't. And so I don't know what other options I have as far as maybe apply or taking it in the next couple months or the next few months, or what is available after October.
Yeah, so the LSAT's offered nearly every month.
Oh, okay.
But not every single month. So it is confusing. You're right about that. And it's kind of arbitrary which months it is and is not offered. After October, you've got November and January and February. So you have a few options. You could take it any of those months. You could take it beyond. If you're not applying this cycle, there's really no rush, and I'd recommend taking it whenever you can get the highest possible score. And scores are good for 5 years.
And would you say that it makes more sense to kind of set a deadline, like maybe register for the LSAT, let's say in January, and then study up to that, or maybe study and then take it once you feel ready?
There's no easy answer on that. It's a good question though, but I'd say, you said that you're starting a new job in a month. I would say, see what your job is like, see how demanding it is. If you're able to put in a lot of time for the LSAT, then yeah, achieving your full potential by January could be doable.
Okay.
But if it's really intense, you might want to give yourself a bit more time.
Okay. And is there any, I guess, do the law schools look at possibly taking it twice? So maybe if you don't get such a great score the first time, does it impact, like, I don't know, the admissions at all when you take it a second time?
It's a good question. Law schools see multiple takes, they see multiple scores, but they only take the highest. So there's really not a downside to retaking.
Okay.
In fact, I recommend retaking because you're giving yourself another shot at doing better.
Right. And how many, like, I guess, test runs is too much? Is it better to stay within like just 2, or do they look at how many times you retake it and consider that?
Yeah, they do see 2 or 3 takes, no big deal. If you took it 7, 8, 9 times, that might look a little shaky. Like, why is this person taking it so often? And there are actual limits, but it's possible to hit the retake limits, but I wouldn't worry about it, especially if you haven't taken it before. It's 3 times in one testing cycle, 5 times in 5 years, 7 times for life. So if you took it a crazy number of times, you might want to write an addendum talking about why, but taking it 2 or 3 times, no big deal at all.
Okay. And I know these are kind of arbitrary questions, but like I said,
not at all. Shoot.
Overwhelming. So I took a like a practice LSAT, and I scored a 147, and the schools that I want to apply to are looking at like high 160, 170 range. Is there like is a recommended timeline that I should study, or is that like not even achievable? Or what does like the pace of improvement kind of look like with the students in your course?
Sure. Well, that kind of score improvement is definitely achievable. Don't place any importance on your cold diagnostic score. I actually don't recommend them because they can be discouraging, but they just tell you that, hey, you've got to learn the LSAT, which almost everybody does.
Yeah.
And so I typically recommend 5 to 6 months to achieve your fullest potential.
Okay.
If you're starting from scratch. And so if you're starting now in July, that puts you right on track to take it in January, assuming that work isn't too crazy. But you can definitely get there. Your cold diagnostic score doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Okay. I think so. Just start with the day 1, and then there's almost daily live class meetings every day around 4 p.m. my time. And from there, do you guys like just answer any questions that come up, or is there kind of like a structure as to what you go over in the live class sessions?
Yeah, so there is an agenda. So we'll say, like, hey, today's class is on logic games. We're covering these specific logic games, but there's always time for Q&A. So you can bring up other questions. You can submit questions to be covered in a future class as well. And the study groups are a bit more free flowing. So you can bring any question you want and work through it with others in the TA. And then the classes have a bit more of a set agenda as well. But the classes, like I said, there's study groups at 4 p.m. your time, but we also have stuff going on at 5 and 6 as well. So let's say you have your work, you start work in a month, maybe you can't make the 4 o'clock, but you can make the 6 o'clock. That could be a good way to go.
Okay, I see. Okay, well, I think that puts me at a good place to start. And I will probably reconnect on a live class session. So yeah, I think that answers all of my questions for now. I know they were very ambiguous, like I said, but just needed to kind of get in the right, be able to shift gears and get into the mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Sarah. It was great to meet you. Your questions are definitely understandable, especially starting from scratch. We also have more in that foundational section including the day-by-day study plans. We also have orientation videos covering a lot of the basic Q&As. So you might want to watch those just to get a more general overview of what's involved in this whole process. But I'm glad you're starting early, and I'm glad that you're giving yourself the time to master this. I mean, I think that your score increase is a big one, but it's definitely achievable.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's encouraging. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and for answering my questions. And I will connect with you again soon.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.